China, Drama and Music, an audio exhibit.
Hello, I am your host, Brody Long. Welcome to our Modern China Museum project. Our exhibit focuses primarily on music and drama of the Chinese culture. You will discover that China was, and is, rich with culture and contemporary art, and has changed dramatically following Mao's rule. We will start our tour by looking at the left wing, titled Pre-Mao Music and Theater. This quickly details the period of theater and music before Mao's Cultural Revolution.
Before Mao, each dynasty had its own rich culture in theater and music. Music was often also used in theater. In the Zhou dynasty, theater was a synthesis of song, dance, and music in the form of ritual court dramas. In the Qin and Han dynasties, theater was based on popular stories and performed in circus-like variety shows called baiqi. In the Tang dynasty, theater diversified more, with skits similar to those in the Qin and Han dynasties, comic scenarios called kanshunqi, dramatizations of Buddhist sermons called bianwen, short stories with dialogue called chuanqi, and puppet performances. In the Song dynasty, zazhu was used, which is similar to the baiqi performances of the Qin and Han, but it focused on a central play. In the Southern Song dynasty, zazhu evolved into three parts: the curtain raiser, the main comedy, and a comic or variety act. The ballad forms dachu and zhuanggongjiao also evolved. Meanwhile, in the Mongol Jin dynasty in the north, Yuan Ben texts and songs were crafted in guilds. In the Yuan dynasty, zazhu in the north developed into 4 acts that featured a soloist and several songs. These songs were in the same key to provide unity, a major feature in Chinese music. This new form of zazhu could take several days to fully perform because they were so long. The third image is an ancient jade carving of 5 people playing music. The other images show bone flutes and a man playing sanxian, a banjo-like instrument.
In the Ming Dynasty, music combined different rhythmic patterns with regional singing styles and dramatic text, including songs and musical scores. This style became known as Kong, the Chinese opera. In the Qing Dynasty, the Beijing opera became prominent. The first image is the Tea House by Luo Shi. It is an example of Qing Dynasty theater. The next image, the second image, is an early Chinese opera performance. New theater, called Zhenju, combined Western themes with traditional Chinese performance style. For example, Shakespeare performed in Kong was popular. When Chairman Mao began the People's Republic of China and the Cultural Revolution, he banned all theater except for 8 model plays that focus on the concerns of workers. We will go into this later.
Now that we know a little about the past of China, let's take a look at current China. In the center, you will see Chinese drama.
Chinese drama has drawn inspiration from a wide range of sources and interests. These include anthropology, film, media studies, histories, and political science. Scholars have made the distinction between opera and music theater. Opera is a group of forms that are seen as heritage of the historic past. Musical theater, however, is inspired by the Western opera world. After the communist takeover in China, much of the popular music from Shanghai was condemned as yellow music and banned. Also in this period, many musical composers of the yellow music were persecuted and sometimes even executed. Instead, revolution-themed songs were promoted, such as Ode to the Motherland, The East is Red, and Without the Communist Party, There Would Be No New China. Also in this time period, traditional operas were banned as they were considered feudalistic and bourgeoisie, and instead the new revolutionary opera was promoted. Starting in 1967, 8 model dramas were produced in 3 years. The first 2 images in this section detail 2 of Mao's model operas. These operas were produced in 1974 and portrayed communism using propaganda. The operas were broadcasted on the radio, made into films, blared from loudspeakers, and basically became the only source of theatrical entertainment for millions of Chinese citizens. The most notable of the operas was The Legend of the Red Lantern. The next image is of The Last Emperor of Southern Tang, which is still a classic tragedy performed today. Even though this opera is very old, it still performs in modern China to remember the culture's tradition. This shows how the Chinese value their history.
Now, let's take a look at modern Chinese music in the rightmost wing. Many songs were banned in the time of Mao. Any songs that were thought to be against communist ideals were banned, and their performers were persecuted. Instead, most often, only songs reflective of Mao's beliefs were allowed. The first image is of Song Zoyun, a modern Chinese singer. The second image is of a model opera. We talked about operas earlier, and they are very vital to the creation of music. The last image is of the 12 Girls Band, a modern Chinese musical group. If you look to the center of the trifold, you will see a graph that shows China recorded music sales. As you can see, there is currently an upwards trend due to accessibility of the music in the modern world. Now, we are going to listen to a few clips of modern Chinese music.
This first song is called No Communist Party, No New China. It is a propaganda piece used heavily in the time of Mao. It talks about how the Communist Party works for the people, practices democracy, and created a new and improved China. This second song is another propaganda song, Red Sun in the Sky. A direct translation of the first few verses. The sun in the sky is red, in our hearts is the sun Mao Zedong. He leads us to liberation, the masses stand up to be the owners. He leads us to move forward. The revolutionary country is a piece of red. This third song is a modern Chinese song. You can clearly see that there aren't as many restrictions as today as there once was. This song is kind of unique because it combines old Chinese tradition with new Chinese tradition. It's using a modern instrument, but it also uses a traditional Chinese language to sing.
Earlier, we had talked about the pre-Mao period. Each dynasty had a unique adaptation of drama and music. However, now, as you can see, they are all identical. What was once the Zhao, Tang, Song, Qin, Yuan, Ming, and Qing dynasties are now just the People's Republic of China, all sharing the same theatrical and music tastes chosen by Mao. In 1972, the ban on theater was lifted and it again became a major part of Chinese culture. After the fall of the Gang of Four, the model plays were no longer performed and there was an influx of Western influence. A new form called Jia combines Western schools of acting and traditional Chinese performance styles.
Thank you for visiting our exhibit about Chinese music and drama. Have a nice day, and maybe, in your free time, listen to more Chinese music.
Our music and picture bibliography is located on the back of the trifold. Have a nice day.